Good afternoon, everyone. It snowed. It is Monday afternoon after Thanksgiving. Here you are, Brandon. I got a bonus day off. Well, sort of. I could not get out of my driveway this morning, go to my main job. I will have to go to my second one this evening. Still waiting on the city to clear out the area, our drive area, to the where we have access. Our only access to the streets here is through an alleyway, so kind of the last ones to get taken care of. And my dumb self, we knew the winter would be rough here, just because of that. But I did not prepare very well. Did not have any ice melt on hand. Meant to get a new snowblower. Did not have that, which brings up one of the Gadsden Holler songs, That Damn Snowblower. Hopefully you checked that out last, it was over the weekend, either Friday or Saturday, we profiled that song. Anyway, got a snowblower on the way, and I was able to get some ice melt over the weekend yesterday. So we can finally go about hopefully getting our cars unstuck here. In the meantime, I'm stuck. Hopefully I won't be the rest of the day. Anyway, let's get to it. Today we are going to profile one of the classic Christmas songs I included on the album, and that is Deck the Halls. We're also going to do a little discussion about the end of Stave 1 in our Christmas Carol discussion. And hey, while you may be at work, I'm not this afternoon, so I'm going to go ahead and have one. We're going to try Winter Wisdom. This is by Empyrean, another good Nebraska brewery. On the back here it says, Wise Up, echoing of cosmic tales, our English-style ale imparts the skills, knowledge, wit, and experience we've gathered along the road less traveled. Look deep within this brown ale to breathe in caramel aromas, taste hints of roasted hazelnuts, and find a smooth, creamy finish. The journey towards enlightenment, and you just might find you get what you need. It's an 18 on the IBU scale, 5.3 ABV. Yeah, let's go ahead and try it out. Winter Wisdom from Empyrean. Now, I've had this before, and I like it. I like brown ales, English-style ales. I always like those. So we'll see how this is. Very good. Very good. That's again, Empyrean Winter Wisdom Hazelnut Brown Ale. Definitely a 3.5 on Untappd for me. So we will find a good place on the tree. How about right there when it's done? Somewhere in the middle there is where we'll put that. Doesn't the tree look festive with snow on there? Can't see the cans too good, but it looks so cool. We got a little light snow falling, by the way. So what a nice little picturesque scene we got going on here for you today. Hey, let's save the song, Deck the Halls, for the end here today. Let's jump right into some of this discussion on A Christmas Carol after Stave 1. And again, we're following along in Stephen Skelton's Christmas Carol edition here, where he's got all the footnotes and then these discussions at the end of each stave. In this one, he focuses on the subject of selfishness. So, talks about telling the story. In Stave 1, introduces Ebenezer Scrooge, a man so self-centered, not even Christmas time can put him in a giving mood. In this discussion, we're going to examine how selfishness is really our attempt to control our own lives rather than allow God to lead us. And we'll see how selfishness can cut us off from others, putting us in prisons of our own making. A key verse to all this, Philippians 2:3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. So here's some questions I want you all out there to ponder. How did Scrooge show his selfishness in a way, in the ways he acted towards his clerk and towards his nephew and towards the two gentlemen? And when the nephew wished, nephew Fred, when he wished Scrooge a Merry Christmas, Ebenezer replied, "Bah, humbug." In other words, he was calling Christmas a bunch of nonsense. Considering what was said in the story, why does Scrooge think Christmas to be nonsense? And for what other reasons would you think Scrooge might not want to celebrate the birth of Christ? Next question here. What connections do you see between Scrooge's material, emotional, and spiritual selfishness? How do you see each of these impacting Scrooge's life? And now, next section here in these discussions, he's got this part 2, which is the first part there we went through is telling the story about what we just read. The second one is telling your story. So these are going to be more in-depth personally, as you consider them. If it wasn't for acting selfish, some of us wouldn't know how to act. Be like little Scrooge's selfish people, seem to think, if I don't get it for myself, how else will I get what I want before someone else gets it? However, we should think about what we are giving away while we're trying so hard to grab onto these things. Instead of filling our lives up with stuff, we should be willing to give our very lives for the sake of Christ. In an amazing way, when we give our lives to God and let go of our control, we gain more satisfaction, more security than we can imagine. There's another key verse to go along with this. This is Mark 8:36. What good is it for a man to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? Here's some stuff to consider, when you're telling your own story as you think about Christmas Carol. Describe a time when you were selfish. What happened? How'd you feel about yourself at that time? We often think of generosity just meaning being willing to give money or things away. But the word generous can be used to talk about someone being kind even when he or she is being treated unkindly. We see examples of generous spirits in the characters of the clerk, Bob Cratchit, Scrooge's nephew, Fred. So describe a time when you were generous. How did people react to your generosity? And what effect did being generous have on you? Next question here. Have you or anyone you know ever suffered because of someone else's selfishness? I bet we all can think about that. And yet, isn't it interesting that times when we're selfish, we just don't think about the lasting impact that has on others. Look at this. About to slide a big chunk of ice off the fire pit here. Thing works good. All right, how about some more soul-warming questions here as we continue on with our Christmas Carol discussion about Stave 1. Compare actions and attitudes of Scrooge's nephew and his clerk with those of Scrooge himself. For example, look at the two paragraphs that describe the clerk and Scrooge leaving after the day was done. How were the nephew and clerk richer than that old miser? How were they more free? In part 3 here, this is telling the story of Christmas. So we're going outside of the story itself, going outside of ourselves. We're going more of a big overview of the cosmic realm of things, involving everybody around us, if you will. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. For us, a child is born. To us, a son is given. That's Isaiah 9:2-6. God completed the ultimate act of selflessness by giving us his son to bridge light to our dark world, to save us from our sins, to celebrate and show our gratitude for this gift. We should act in love toward others, just as God has acted in love towards us. So what's the best gift you've ever received for Christmas? What made it special? How can you share the gift of Christ? And why is that important to do? Scrooge was given the gift of the appearance of Marley on Christmas Eve. Marley said he had come to warn Scrooge that he might have a chance of hope of escaping Marley's fate. Why do you think a character such as Marley would have wanted to give Scrooge such a chance? If your selfishness has separated you from others in your life, what can you do to repair those broken bonds? What practical things can you do to show others what Christmas and Christ means to you? And then finally, part 4, and this is going to be the same parts, the same sets of questions, how he has it divided up for each stave. And this part is living the story. So the first 3 of these, we're talking about the impacts of our lives and lives of others. And now we're going to talk about the action, actually living that out. Selfishness can destroy your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your God. Acting in humility and generosity can build those relationships. In being humble, you seek to meet the needs of others before your own. In being generous, you seek to give more than you get. Ask God to help you live with less selfishness and more generosity by doing these things. Show love to someone, even when you don't feel like it. Giving of your money or time, even when it's not convenient. Praying for someone, even if they've mistreated you. And it gives some verses you may consider for some further pondering and study on your own. Psalm 119:36, Proverbs 11:17 and 18:1, Luke 2:15, 20 and 21, Romans 2:7 and 8, Ephesians 5:5, 21, and James 3:13, 17. So there you go. That's a good review of Stave 1. Like I said, such a rich addition to it, new way to look at it all and study everything within it. So, all right, let's get to our song here for today. So, Deck the Halls on Little Something for Everyone, the Christmas album by Gadsden Holler. I want to make sure to get in a few Christmas classics. Most of the songs on there are original. Most the lyrics are by my own self, my own thinking, stuff I've thought up over the years, and then recently just getting in the mood of doing all this. So I would say 85% of the lyrics I've done on my own, but also I want to get in a few classic Christmas songs. Of course, we got to have our train interrupt the episode, right? All right, pass on through. Let's go. So being able to do that and then put it to, the own style of music I wanted to do. Yeah, I look for Christmas songs that are in the public domain. Deck the Halls is one of those. And I wanted to give it kind of a jazzy type feel. One of my favorite Christmas albums out there is Lorne Daigle's. I forget the name of it, but just a wonderful Christmas album, and she kind of has this jazzy feel about it, and kind of nostalgic, classic Christmas sound. And so that's what I was going through for with this one. It's a little bit different, but I liked it. You kind of hear, I believe it's the female singer in this one, if I'm thinking right, and the way she does it, she kind of hums along, and then works in, some of the words, some of the lyrics to it, singing those, but it's kind of morphing the two, and I just thought it was really great the way it came out. So take a listen here. Clarinet there. You hear her voice, kind of. You hear her voice there. Snappy tune. You could really, snap along this little toe tapping. Nice little sax in there. Fast forward a few seconds here for you. There she jumps in.
Follow me in merry measure. I tell all of you that you touch her. Fast away the old year passes. Hail the new year, lads and lasses. Sing with joyous all together. Heedless of the wind and weather.
What a great addition, right? I was really happy when that came out. Just something new and snappy, little jazzy feel, classic. Really hit what I was after there. You know, going with a classic Christmas song and getting kind of that nostalgic Christmas classic feel to it. So, all right, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining me on this Monday afternoon. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. It's now December 1st. Boy, 25 days, 24, however you count it, till Christmas. Keep it right here. I'll keep going through the album, our favorite Christmas drinks, all that, sharing it together. That's what it's all about, right? Good friends, family, sharing the Christmas spirit together. All right, everyone, until next time, I can say it's December now. Merry Christmas.